Hey guys, All-Star Plush Productions here, coming to you with another plush tutorial. This one is for a Mecha Cheep from New Super Mario Bros. U. Now, let's get into this tutorial. Let's talk about what materials you'll need to make this plush. You will need yellow fabric, gray fabric, red fabric, black fabric, and pink fabric. You're also going to want the template for this plush, which is on my Twitter, and it's linked in the description, so you can find that there. You're going to need some pins and needles, scissors, stuffing, a hot glue gun, and hot glue sticks. You're also going to need thread in the colors of black, gray, and red. If you don't have gray, you can use white thread. For this entire process, I'm going to be using a blanket stitch to sew everything up. So that's what stitch I'm using. You're going to want to grab your gray body piece and your red body piece, and you're going to sew the black strip into them along this edge, and then sew the black strip onto the red body piece on this edge. Again, I'm going to be using a blanket stitch for this entire thing. I added another light in so I could get better lighting, and yeah, looks a lot better. Make sure to do this for the other body pieces. Then your body pieces should both look like this. Now put those aside, and you're going to grab your face piece. Then you're going to want to sew your face piece from this point here down to around here. Now, a problem that I had is that I went too far and sewed up all the way on the body piece and on the face piece. So you don't want to do that. You want to go just a little bit here on, leaving about a quarter left on the face. As you see, I went too far in the face, but make sure you don't do that. Take your key and then glue the keys together with hot glue. Just glue them on the inside, leaving that part open so we can sew it up easier, and then just stack them on top of each other, smush them in place. If you want, you can put some cardboard in there. I didn't do that though. It should be like this now, once it's all glued together. Make sure there are no glue strings onto it, and we're going to grab it and we're going to attach it, and we're going to put the key and we're going to sew it into the body piece. The key is going to line up with the black strip. Make sure that the gray sides are going to be sewn with the gray sides, and the red sides are going to be sewn with the red sides. You're going to sew up to here. Again, I sewed up too far, but you want to sew up just a little bit after the key is put in, just a little bit after where the key is sewn in on the red. And I was stupid and went all the way up, so make sure you do not do that. As you see, I sewed too far up, so make sure you only sew a little bit past the key on the red. But it should look something like this, just not as sewn up at the top. Next, you're going to grab your mohawk piece and sew from here all the way down here, not sewing this edge. So just the short, and then the short edge, and then the long curved edge, but not the long straight edge. Make sure if there are any other tutorials you want me to do, to tell me down below. I really like doing these really obscure characters that you would never see plushes of. And yeah, I just really thought this guy's design was cool, and I never see him around much, so yeah. Once that's sewn like that, flip it right side out, and it should look something like this. So now you're going to want to stuff it with some stuffing. Make sure that the stuffing tries to stay in there. Good. So, yeah. Put all the stuffing in there. Then, this is what your pieces should look like. I had to cut them because I figured out my mistake. But what you're going to do is you're going to leave that part open. what you're going to do is you're going to sew the tips of the red and the tips of the gray on the faceplate and on the body piece. Sew those together just so you can get them held together, and then you're going to sew all the way around. So in the gray, the face to the body, making sure to leave that V shape open and nothing's in there. And it should look something like this. Then you're going to want to take your mohawk and sew it in to the face piece like this, with the point. The point of the front of the mohawk is going to be on the front of the face piece. Make sure to sandwich it, and so that it's sewn, like it's sewn through the mohawk and to the body, and not that the mohawk is sewn onto the body, so that it's flat and stuff. Then you can stuff your body once you flip it right side out. It should look like this. You can sew up this hole. You might actually have to cut this hole, because I don't remember if I told you or not to leave that part open, but I made a lot of mistakes in this tutorial. But he does look pretty good. Then you're going to want to grab your fin piece and take two of them and stack them on top of each other, and you're going to want to sew all the way around. Then once you got that, you're going to pick a side and cut a hole. Make sure you just don't cut through both layers, just cut through one layer. And then once you have that hole cut, flip it right side out. The side with the hole on the fin is the side we're going to put onto the body, or put against the body. So after that hole's cut, just flip it right side out. Make sure all the corners are pushed out all the way. Then it should look something like this. Now you could sew it straight to the body without stuffing it, but I'm going to stuff mine. So you can take your fin, and put stuffing through that hole that you had. Make sure it gets into all the corners and stuff. Then you can either sew or glue on your fin to the your Mecha Cheep. I'm just stuffing my fin a little bit more, making sure it's really stuffed. Then you're going to want to take it and glue it or sew it onto your body. Make sure the side that you glue or sew on is the side with the hole. I'm going to glue my fin to the body. And then once you have that, make sure to take a little yellow circle that you have cut out and glue that onto the fin. I'm just going to sew up my other fin right now before I put both of them on. since I'm waiting for my hot glue gun to warm up. Since I have both ones stuffed, I'm going to glue my little yellow circle onto my other fin. You see I already have it on that one. So then glue it onto there. Then I'm going to glue that to the body. So I'm just going to take my hot glue gun, glue it around the hole, like this. And then take it and glue it on right about here. Then I'll just press it in place so that it stays on. And then you can glue on your other one once that's glued on. Of course, you could have sewn this on too, and if you sew it on, just sew it on with a ladder stitch and sew around the hole and go onto the body. Now I'm going to glue on my other fin. Then again, just press it into place. Then it should look something like this once both of your fins are placed on. Now you're going to take, this is probably the most complicated part, we're going to take our lip pieces and you're going to sew one side like this. Just one side though, you're not going to sew the other side. So just sew one side of the two lips together, so it's like that. Then you're going to do the same thing with the other piece. And you're going to sew on both of the pieces like this. So basically what we're doing is sew one half of the lip together on another half, and then sew across that top piece like that. Then sew across the inside, and then sew the other piece on, and then sew around the back. And then you flip the entire thing right side out through the middle hole, and then you can stuff it. You can do this many ways, just make sure that you have it so that you can sew it and that it's like a circle, but you have a way that you can stuff it and flip it right side out. This way I did it was kind of complicated, so you can do it whatever way. But then just glue it onto your face and make sure that you put like a black circle inside the mouth so that's darker in there. So yeah. And then you can also glue your eyepieces on. Just glue your yellow circles into the middle of your black circles, and then sew the black piece onto the face. And then your Mecha Cheep plush is done. And this is how it should look. Also sew those the little pieces, the gray bolts, onto the face as well. And then there you have it. Hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. It was, even though small, a little complicated, so I hope you guys were able to follow through. Yeah. See you next time.